on Magic Mondays. And my name is Tim Gregg, and my special guest today is Roman Seitz. Welcome, Roman.
Welcome, Tim.
It's lovely to see you.
Congratulations on your first.
Thank you. You're in Heidelberg in Germany, I believe, at the moment.
That's currently right, yes.
Yeah.
But there's so many things always changing. It's like every time, like people don't know where I'm at, yeah. But Heidelberg right now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your background before you came into this business, which we will talk about during the interview.
So to pretty much like sum the entire background of myself down is like I realized, especially the last few weeks and months, that I'm a rebel. Like, to put it in one word, I have never believed in social conditions. Like, everything has to be done in a certain way, because I saw the certain way that people have, and I never understood like why they want to live this way. So I have been always a rebel. I had an entrepreneurial mindset all my life. I was always like, hey, the only way out is the way forward, and I'm going forward, and I have to do my own job, and I decide who I want to be, and I decide my paycheck. Like, I want to see exactly who I am and what I am capable of, and this also like reflecting in my bank account.
Interesting. So how's rebellion played out in your life to date?
I mean, rebellion has been in that sense like 3 years ago, I was like the last dramatic experience in my life was I got diagnosed with MS and I was paralyzed. And the world said to me like, Roman, you're done again. And I was like, Everybody told me that I will never walk again, that I have to get used to being paralyzed and that my entire body will be paralyzed. And I was like, there's no freaking way that I accept this part of being paralyzed. And so I kept having my vision in my life and just keep going. And like, actually it's like, I'm a Taurus, like in one of my star signs is that I'm a Taurus. Like, if you put me in a corner, like I will find my way out. And if there's no way out, I just turn back and go the other way. So
that's fantastic. We talked about that because I've spoken to you earlier. I'm very curious about what brought on the paralysis. Do you know, or?
The paralysis was mostly, like the doctor said, it was stress related, which at this point I did not understand stress, what stress levels are, what actually stress could cause. Like, in my position, it was like an unhealthy relationship and also something that I just did not want to do, and I still kept doing it. Like, so what I realized for myself is that don't live a life of somebody else, because it's just what you have to do. And again, this is the rebel inside of me. Is like, if I follow one word, like I have a tattoo on my neck that says ego sum qui sum, which means I am who I am. And I don't want to live somebody else's life. Like, I am me, and I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Wow. And it wasn't in relation to like relative to a work thing or anything like that.
Mostly, because I don't. Sorry, my phone was ringing. Like, most of the times, I don't know how to stop, and this is one of the hardest things for me is stopping. Why stopping and just keep going? And like, that's why I'm also like, I'm a bad employee because I do so many things, but in my opinion, I am never like just an employee, because nobody of us is actually an employee, because we're always self-employed, because all we do our life is we are working for ourselves. Even if we have a job, we pretty much work for ourselves. We work for our dreams, we work for our families, we work for so many other things, but not just the chef itself. So
incredible. So what brought you into this amazing business? And we'll talk about the business a little bit later, but what actually was the defining moment that made you decide to come into this business?
So for me, it was a defining moment that 3 years ago, I thought like I was on top of my game. Like, the world was great. The world was my oyster. I had achieved everything that I ever wanted, ever dreamed of. I lived in Laguna Beach. It was so great. And then suddenly, like a short moment later, I was on a road trip. Then I got paralyzed. I was in a wheelchair and I could not do anything. I lost everything. I lost all my money because of the health condition. I lost my wife and it changed the entire life. So then I was down at zero, and I was like, no way, like I worked all my life for such high goals, and now I'm left behind with something that is nothing anymore. So now I just did not like, because I'm 38 right now, to always start back at zero again. So it's like, I don't want to start at zero all my life. So if I have to go back, at least you can take everything away from me right now, but next week is another life again and another paycheck coming in. So whatever I did now, it just like keeps growing. So that was for me like, okay, this business is it.
And how did you discover it?
So I was working in another company prior to it, and I met this one beautiful, amazing girl that actually is a funny fact because she will be interviewed by you as well. And she said, Roman, you are struggling in this company. Like, I have something else. And she was so briefly explaining some things, and I was like, oh my God. But she got me so curious. Like, she got me fired up. It's like, there was something inside of me that was like tingling, and I was like, oh my God, I want to know what it is. But
yeah,
yeah,
really raised your curiosity.
definitely.
So, and the attractive thing you found that, how long have you been in the business now?
Now in the business, like actually I got my product last month just, so I'm pretty much at zero. So
yeah,
but
that's fine. And what was the thing that the attractive part of the business was? The compensation plan, or was there the learning program that's behind it, or what was it?
I mean, it was the learning program, it was the compensation plan, but it also was a great community behind it, because like this is a world that I have never really entered before. Like I'm like this person that on my own, I'm a survival trainer. I was a survival trainer for most of my life. I'm the person known that knows to live in the garden, lives in the forest, like lives in the jungles, like feels comfortable there. And now I have to work with computer screens and like talking to cameras. Like I'm okay talking in front of people, but talking with cameras was always like, But yeah, and the compensation plan, I have to briefly start talking about this, because the compensation plan, as I heard this, I was like, my Swiss clock in the head started like ringing, and it's like ding, 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 ding. It was like the jackpot slots in Las Vegas. I just saw these numbers, and from this moment on, that was it.
Yeah, awesome. It's interesting. That's such a transition from survival training to what you're doing now. It's just hard to get my head around are there any skills that are kind of transferable from one to the other, do you think? I know it's early for you, but
I definitely would think so, because like in survival cases, for me, like the most amazing thing is, or like the only thing that actually brings us to survival is psychology, which I always like emphasize on psychology, because I'm an NLP practitioner as well, and talking about psychology and it's the mindset. So once you have your mindset, once you know that you want to survive, you will do everything that costs, like it doesn't matter like what you have to do in order to survive, you will survive.
Yeah.
So it's the same, you want success and you will do everything that's in success. So
yeah, you've got some great skills there. That's awesome. So tell us roughly your, I guess, well, you can say the date, but is like, do you have a 12-month plan for this business, or a 5-year plan, or 3 years and where would that take you?
Because actually usually it's like it's a 5-year plan. Everybody talks about a 5-year plan, but I have actually in 100-year plans.
100 years. Excellent.
100 years.
You don't have to tell us all that now, but just a summary.
So the summary of it is like I have so many goals. Like one of my biggest goals is like obviously like I want to heal myself, but this is like nothing that I want to take in, because this is gonna happen anyway, and this has already happened. Yeah. But my mom is about to retire, and she never had a dream life that I think she deserves, that she knows she deserves, but she's always like giving herself. She's like Mother Teresa. She always wants to give to everybody else and like always forgets itself. So that was the way I was raised to, is like always give the others, never expect anything in return. So
we're in a group, a subset group of the business we're in, which is the Total Freedom Era Men group. And you wrote a beautiful letter, a beautiful post in that group, just asking for some feedback. And you talked about your mum there. So can you, and I might show that on the video as we're just briefly as we're going through, can you just dive down a little bit into what do you want about your mum you want to do?
So what I want to do for my mom is like right now, she's, I guess you can see, like I'm at my mom's place, and it's like, in my opinion, it's a small flat. So like every time you have to walk around, like everything is full, and it's like full and it's clean, it's pristine, but I just want her to have more space. She's a massage therapist and she still wants to do it, but she has to sacrifice one of her rooms. But then she also wants to do yoga with other people. So it's like, then she always has to move everything away back and forth. And I just want to give her like a bigger place so that she can have like several rooms. Okay, here I'm doing my yoga, here I can do my massages, here's the other things. And she also she she doesn't even know it, that she has so dreams that she wants to travel. Like in the last 38 years, she told me so many things that she wants to do, but it's always about money, Tim. So it's like, it's the saddest part. In everybody, like I'm talking to, it's always like, if the topic money comes up, they're like always so sad and so bummed out because it's so hard for the most people to make money. And I don't know why it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So, and how are you finding the, that's an amazing goal. So I assume that's part of your driving force to get to your 100-year plan. What's your, in the TFE men bit we're in, what are you getting out of that?
What I'm getting out of it is like, first of all, it's the community that I get taught everything I need to know in order to succeed and to reach my goals. The other thing is I just love the members, like you're one of the members there too, and I get to connect with people like on an, not just on a flatline level. It's like we actually get to connect and talk to each other, and we are so cheerful and we are so supportive about everybody else. There's another girl, she's about to reach one goal and everybody's cheering her on. Everybody's doing something to get her to the goal, because like everybody like takes it away from themselves and like focuses on the other person. This is what I love. That is all my life. I'm born and raised this way, to think about others before I think about myself. Granted, it has not always been the best solution to do it like this, but this is just how I am. And I accept this part of myself, that I care about others.
And if you, so what, and how would you see if you faced yourself in 12 months or 2 years and you looked yourself at the mirror, how would you define that you've become successful?
How would I define? Because like honestly, it's like, it's a mirror. Like I love to see myself in the mirror for like most of the time, like as I lived in the jungles of the world, as I've lived in the forest, like I didn't even see what it is, but I love being like waking up, like having my first dip in the morning. Like I'm envisioning like a house with a beautiful terrace overlooking a cliff where I see the water down below. And so like, and this goal is going to happen in Sardinia. So I discovered for myself that I want to be closer to my family, but I can't stay in Germany because it is way too constricting. Germany is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's so many people and there's really not much space.
So you've lived in, well, Sardinia, I guess, is not that far from Germany, I suppose, coming from Australia. Everything's a long way away, but you've lived in many, or you visited and lived in many countries, haven't you? How many countries have you been to?
As of right now, it's 38 countries that I have been.
38 countries. Yeah. That is amazing. Are you slowing down now, or?
No, that's the issue, because I made myself the promise that I always have to travel one country more that I'm old. Now I got 38 and I just left Puerto Rico, which is like technically the US, but so now I have to move. But granted, I already had my decision, because in the beginning of September, I'm going to meet one of our TFE members on the entire event in Sweden, which I have never been to Sweden. So Sweden would be number 39. But technically it is number 39, but I have bigger goals. I can't just say I was there for 3 days, because I will be at an event for 3 days. Like I will not walk around there. So. But it's a start.
Yeah, that's an admirable start. I've done a lot of traveling too, but certainly not that many. I don't think so. I'll have to count one day. So are you driven by any particular mentors? Do you follow anyone online, or any particular books that you could perhaps even recommend? Do you, is that a driving force for you?
I mean, the driving force for sure. Like the book that I'm reading right now is from Rhonda Bryan. It's The Magic. I don't know if you know this book, if you have an experience. Like I love the gratitude practices. I thought I'm a really grateful person before too, but I didn't know how much more gratitude you can have actually and feel. And with this gratitude also like attracting so many good things, because it's like, it's a complete different energy level that we are like putting ourselves in. It's like, because, like there's all the different levels, and fear and anxiety, there's all the base layers, and love and happiness are all way higher. And gratitude is one of the highest things. The other person right now, I'm really love to listen to Daniel Bisseker, Balázs W.D. Cardos is his name, I think.
Balázs Cardos.
And there's also like Eric Worre is like beautiful. I love listening to Joe Dispenza with his books about superhumans and like quantum physics, because this is how I heal myself. So, but then there's also like, I don't know, did I mention Eric Worre? Joe
Just did
Dispenza,
then. You just did then, yes.
Brian Tracy. There's so many people. Like I can just keep talking about all these people. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been looking, I guess, following and learning about personal development for a long time.
I would say so. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
there was always like the.
Yeah. So I'm reading I'm on my second run through of the Magic because, to be honest, I didn't follow everything that was suggested on the way through. So I'm on day 5, the second time around now. What are you really grateful for at the moment then?
Right now, I'm really grateful for my recovery because the last few days.
Yeah.
It sounds so weird to say, but walking 4 steps or being able to close your eyes, open your eyes, drinking just using both hands is like, even right now, it's like, I know my left hand is like, it's kind of weird, but I am healing, and I always have to put myself like into this mindset that I have been in a position that I couldn't do anything. So I'm really grateful that I can heal myself, that I found this company, that my dreams are actually having in flagship, like going forward to is like, there is undoubtedly like I found my way out. So and yeah.
So you have, I guess, talking about the business then, you haven't had a lot of experience in social media marketing or online marketing, and so it's quite a new thing for you.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I dipped my toes in a little bit, but it was just just doing it. Like I started the online thing, like with Instagram. I just started it because I'm traveling so much, and every time people started asking me about it, and I was just, you know what? I want to live my life. I don't want to always like explain myself over and over again to everybody person. So I was like, here, just see it on my Instagram. You can see it. Like if you want to see what's going on in my life, there you can see it. So that was for me the only output that I had, or the interest.
Okay. Yeah. And how are you finding the program that we are following to learning more about your business and how to set up your business?
I mean, what I really love about this program is because they say like you have to talk about your story, and to me, honest, like it was the hardest thing to talk about a story. Like for me, like right now, my story is my handicap, and that I'm like, it is like I have to say I was ashamed of it for like longest time, and I still feel sometimes ashamed because like people see me walking around and they think, oh my god, it's 4 a.m. and like he already walks drunk, or is he still drunk? So I don't know. So to people, it always looked like something else, but it was internally, so it has nothing to do because I'm so sober. Like I'm just high on life, but too many things going on.
I can tell you're high on life. So what would you say to someone who wanted to go and start an online business? I assume, are you having any particular challenges at the moment or not?
The particular challenge is like to get the first one in, I would say so, but also it's not really a challenge because I just have to lead with and I have to keep envisioning my why really hard, and I have to put it like straight into my face all the time. And if I don't do it, like there's everything else around me is like, because I'm living right now with my mom, I didn't even expect this to happen. I knew I want to do this for my mom, but now I'm living with her again and I get to experience all these things. And you know, she says like, oh, I love my flat, but it could be bigger. I love this.
Yeah, we'll see how she is in 12 months. Eh? She might have a different conversation then. Yeah. So
Definitely.
if you'd explain, if someone who knew you really well were to explain your sort of qualities, Roman, what would they be?
I think it's my determination, like my unwavering will to never give up and never give in. So it's like, from all the people that know me in my life, it's like one of the things is I'm a great motivator. Like I'm like, I mean, my name is on Instagram is I love my life. So, and I want to emphasize it in everybody else. Like, and one girl, she said, oh, Roman, you have to get an Instagram. And I was like, I don't even know the name. And she's like, you know what you say? I love my life every day. So why don't you love your life and make it into I love my life? So everybody talks about you on the internet, but bluntly said, it's like a kind of like a sidekick because they have to say it. So if they want it or not, if they feel good or not, but the motivation already starts happening in it, and we are raising the awareness.
It had to be wonderful to see someone so positive online. I mean, that's going to attract a lot of people to you and to the business, which is great. Yeah.
I hope so.
On the taking the opposite tack, if you were to like if you teach someone how to fail at this business, what would you have to do?
What they have to do is actually that they have to stop doing, because
Yeah.
You can't fail if you do. Like what I realized, like whatever you do and whatever you put your mind towards, you can't fail. There's no way that if you do something and you want to get better, like if you want to play the guitar and you just think about playing the guitar, you actually never start taking the guitar in your hands and start moving your fingers around and listening to the different sounds, because I don't even know how to play guitar anyway. But if you do it, or like fishing, you will succeed. There's no way. But if you don't want to succeed, then you have to do is nothing. Yeah. Just keep doing what you did before and you will have what you had before, but
just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to really agree with you there. And I've been in quite a few affiliate marketing businesses, some successful, not most of them not successful. But this one has such a different feel to it. And it's so much like that I feel that all I have to do is keep going. Just follow the program, follow the steps. And I was going to say, I don't know why that is, but I think it's because the quality of the program really stands out for me. It just seems to be on such a different level. And also that I hear so many successful stories and they sound so genuine. And as I said, I've been in other programs and you hear some of the stories and you think, yeah, I don't know, is that really what happened? But these are such successful stories from I'm not trying to say this nicely, just basic people of all types of people who've had no success in other businesses, never been in business, single mums, single dads, people who've had physical issues like yourself or worse, and people who've had amazing businesses, and they all just keep on going and they become successful. It's like, you know what, that's all. It's kind of that simple and that difficult. You just have to keep on going. And as a neuro-linguistic practitioner, you'd know that there's a lot of mindset involved in that. And because I am one too, I haven't practiced for a while, but I know that now you're coaching yourself, because you're the person that's going to make yourself fail at this business. Not going to be anybody else, not going to be family, it's not going to be lack of money. It's just you in your head causing chaos. And so that's the bit, it's as I said, it's kind of simple, but it's not, because there's a lot of stuff up there. Well, I'm speaking personally, that'll just make you keep going or not. So what would you say to someone who wanted to start in the business that perhaps had like yourself, I guess, no experience in any sort of online business? Maybe they've had a business, maybe they've never had anything. What would your advice be?
My advice would be to the people to definitely remember your why. Why are you doing it? Like, what brings you to the point? Like, what are your pain points? What are you suffering with? Like, why are you going for it? Like, you are unhappy. Like, are you willing to do something? Because this is the first thing again. It's like doing. If you're unhappy and you complain about it, like, what will you get? You will only get more unhappiness. So you have to shift yourself into the other side. Like, if you want to be happy, you have to be happy. There's no way out. You want to be successful? Well, you better start thinking successful.
Yeah, you have to be the person you want to be, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is there anything, Roman, I haven't asked you that you'd like me to ask you? Anything I've missed out?
Let me think about it. Yeah, how can you stay so committed to yourself? It's just thinking about your why again. It's like, seriously, just knowing that you deserve it, you can reach everything else that you want. Like, what is holding you back? Well, I don't understand why people always they start dreaming, they keep dreaming, but why don't they ever think about, actually, I want to live this life though.
And take the steps to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Roman, for your time. I really appreciate that. It's been really good talking to you. And I'd love to have a chat again in, say, 12 months or 18 months and just see where you are, because I'd love to see that transition from someone who's starting out to someone who's successful. So appreciate your time. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you too, Tim. Bye.
Okay.
Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.